stream ahead. I'm your host, Mozz Mansour, and with me is the lovely and talented Lilith Hellfire. Nice to have you, Lilith.
Arg!
Indeed. So today we're continuing our coverage of Poker Face, and today we're doing episode 9, Escape from Shit Mountain. Pardon my
It's the
French.
penultimate episode.
Oh, take a drink. Take a drink. Indeed. How dare I flaunt tradition in the face? How dare I?
So, as you can see, what I meant by as things continue to kind of roll downhill and escalate.
Good Lord. I got to say, like, this, not only was this my favorite episode so far, but it was my favorite opening so far. That opening thing was so engrossing. The performances by Joseph Gordon-Levitt and what's the other guy? David Castaneda. By the way, nice to see him. If anybody's a fan of Umbrella Academy, I was like, hey, it's Diego.
Yes.
Oh, it was so nice and he did really, really well. And I didn't, for a second there, I kept thinking it looks a lot like him, but maybe it's like his younger twin brother. Because he didn't look old enough to be the same guy that plays Diego. Diego looks much older than this character.
It's the lighting in Umbrella Academy, actually. How everything's like really kind of like dark and dreary, and yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, in certain angles, I guess shadows can definitely highlight. Yeah, okay, that's fair because he looked much younger in this. But man, what great performances from both of them, and it's interesting. You don't see Charlie right off the bat in the beginning. You're like, man, and you don't really realize it till much later. You're like, man, where's Charlie? How's she gonna fit into all this? And then you have that one moment where you're just dreading, like the grunt that is made when she's hit by the car. It was a very Charlie grunt, and you want to put it out of your mind. It can't possibly be, but they do just enough to leave that in your mind. And my word, and I love the opening because it starts off and you think like, oh, here's this motivated guy. He's up at 5:30 in the morning working out. He has his green smoothie and now he's going to get to work. He's like, wait a second, he's going to play video games? Okay, what is this? Something's not adding up. And you're like, okay, maybe he's
hands over to
yeah. Maybe it's still early. Maybe like it's not even 6 o'clock yet. He has to get his video games in. So 6 o'clock he can get the floor and start working or whatever the hell this guy does. And then you see him not give a tip to the guy, and you're like, "Oh, this guy's kind of an ass."
Yeah.
And then he's like drunk, and then you repeat, and it's like, "What is going on?" It was a really, really cool way to introduce the character. So that's what I say about the beginning. I thought the beginning was the best one they've had so far. What did you think of the episode?
Shout out to Mortimer Bernstein, man. I like this episode a lot.
I thought they were going to bring back somehow the lady that she saved in one of the earlier episodes. At first, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if it was her? I was like, no, it's just some other grifter. I was like, all right.
Exactly. Exactly. But I was just like, this was like crazy. I was just like, oh, no.
Yeah. No, and that you have like the sneaking suspicion that it's got to be her, right? And then you put it out of your mind. And then the show goes in to what has to be another dream sequence, like her fighting for this is her going to the light before she gets pulled back or something, right? Because that scene is so surreal and so dreamlike.
She got hit by a car, so it might be a concussion.
Yeah, for sure. Because like you expect that we've seen her spurn the advances of everybody else that tries to approach her. It's like, I'm an old lady. What do you want from me, right? And she tries giving this dude the same, and then a shark comes and she's like, what am I talking about? Come here, where are we going? Let's take a walk. It's great. And then they're like picnicking and eating strawberries. I was like, okay, this is a weird dream sequence.
Yeah.
Had to be.
Summer romances. I just kept thinking summer fun.
Yeah.
Having a blast.
But then they build in like she has been there all summer and the snow, but it has to be, right? Like a fiction made up as her mind tries to cope with why she's in this situation.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's the only thing that makes sense. And what did you think of the deer? Was the deer like Chloe's dead spirit or something? Or
that's how I interpreted it. I don't know if that's how they really want. Like I said, it's so open ended that all headcanons you can apply at this particular point.
Yeah,
so it's fun to think about.
I'm beginning to think like, or is it like an Edgar Allan Poe kind of situation where it's just his conscience manifesting in his visual field, right? And I wonder, like, whatever he did at work, right before he pushed the button to send that trade, he saw that bull in his mind somewhere. He saw that bull in his mind right before he did another dumb thing, and that bull has been chasing him for a while. I would like to think that it's Chloe's
Insider
revenge.
trading. You gotta love it. Martha
Right.
goes to jail. Now it's Camp Cupcake, granted, but she did her time and she kept her mouth closed. Martha's a G. She hangs out with Snoop Dogg for a reason. So I'm like, this guy
For
gets house arrest. He ratted everybody out.
uh-huh. No. She is legit for sure. I doubt this guy would have any scruples. That's the other thing. Like, you keep thinking, like, there's people like this out there that no matter what happens, they can feel sorry in the moment, they can feel regret in the moment, or at least they can feign the emotion. But the moment they feel like they're on the other side, like at the end, it's like, that's all it took to get away. He really was immediately back to his old ways, not having learned anything from any of that. Just amazing to me that these people are real, but it's got to be
And it
a
goes back to
mental.
him being a spoiled brat and, being a baby, basically a Chestafarian, that whole
Yeah.
line of thought.
No, but like I think he might be like a sociopath.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he is
He's a
capable of.
manipulator for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Oh,
emotion.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like, my favorite scene is he goes, we've been friends for 20 years. She goes, bullshit. Right? Like, that guy, that guy's hated you forever for whatever his reasons are. You're the one he screwed over, but he hates you. I guess because you're a reminder of the fact that I'm like not a good person.
Yeah.
Man, but like then you find out towards the end, like the whole reason this poor guy's been depressed and locked up in the shack is because he thinks his dealing led to this girl's death. And he's been holding on to that for this whole time. When that revelation happened, I was like, oh my God, this guy can't get any worse.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in, seriously. Like it was like that sense of dread. It's two creepy guys in a motel, it's a blizzard.
Yeah.
Like, after last episode where things started getting dark, you're like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this, boss.
Man.
Because then you're thinking, yeah, if they take her to the hospital, Cliff's totally gonna get her. Like all these things are going through your mind. Like if they do this, then that. Because we've seen in the last couple of episodes, like, yeah, her name is out there. She is indeed a wanted fugitive.
Yeah, no police, no cops, because they're probably busy and it's storm. What do you want to bother them for? I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy, like, from an acting perspective, from a student of acting, when you get to play like somebody that's injured, that's one of the most enjoyable things to do. And man, she really ate it up. Like, it's hard to watch when she comes out of the ground. The kind of screaming that she's doing, it's really unsettling. It's really, really unsettling. She played like the pain that she was in really, really well. And it's not easy to do that and make it feel real. Most times it can get really hammy, and like, but like this felt like somebody was really in pain, like the kind of realism you don't really see dramatized.
Yeah. Well, also was directed by, our Lord and Savior Ryan Johnson
Mm.
too. So, I feel like they have a really great rapport and he just like really they bring out the best in each other. So
Yeah,
it was nice to see another episode directed by him for sure.
yeah, he's done most of them, right?
I'd say about half, right?
Right. I only know she did. Natasha Leone did one, but that was about it.
Yeah, there's been a couple other directors.
And poor Mortimer. Poor Mortimer.
Well, you live by
Like,
the grift, you die by the grift.
it's true. It's that. Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, like, you go on such a journey with her because at first you're like, screw this little brat, right? Like this punk little stealing, thieving, and somehow like she has so much grace that she's constantly, all right, give me my wallet. Like, even that, she's like, like, just like she's treating like a child or something, like this misbehaving. She's so forgiving in that sense, and like through that, you're like, all right, fine. I guess I'm fine with it too. Whatever. She's cool. Um, But man, her end is so terrible, so
Yeah.
terrible. And
And
I
you
really,
think just for a second, like, oh, maybe this Charlie's out. Nope.
yep,
They
yep.
had every opportunity to do it, and they were like, "Oh, we're not doing this the easy way, babes." Mm-mm.
And it's so funny. Like people don't know how to talk to bad guys. People really don't know how to talk to bad guys. Especially like this. He's like, yeah, just mind you, I got everything. I'm still a threat, even though you're letting me walk. Just so you remember, I hope you didn't forget. I'm still a threat. Oh yeah, clock.
Not
You know,
anymore.
like, come on, you were almost out of there. Just keep your mouth shut and keep it rolling. No, but she went in the hole too. Um,
My saying is, I don't know nothing. I ain't seen nothing. I was sleeping. That is my life
yeah.
motto.
Yeah, especially when you got it out. And I think he was ready to let her go too. He was gonna go along with Diego's plan, but he was just like, man, this would be so much easier. Again, that same mentality. I know I can get away with it. Those are
You can
always
keep
like
a secret if one is dead. I'll tell you
Yep.
that. So,
And you just keep thinking, like, how does Diego not see, like, how long before this guy comes and kills me too?
yeah.
Clearly
And
not
reward
far off.
money. Oh, as
Yeah.
soon as the reward money came up, I was like, oh my god, this is just it literally just kept getting worse and worse.
And the truth is, there could have been a financial way out of this. Clearly, he has the money. There could have been a way if he'd have just not been such a greedy miser, you know,
Oh
like
yeah,
he could have been fine. It just goes to show you, it was that some people, it's just a principle thing. He didn't want to give that guy a tip out of principle, some
but
weird
it's like that's
principle.
not the social contract. When you live in a dystopian nation like the U.S., if you don't have the money to tip, you don't have the money to eat. I am sorry. You know how this works. Don't be that person.
I wholeheartedly agree. Wholeheartedly agree.
So like
Um,
yeah, if a person doesn't tip, whether it's in a restaurant or DoorDash, red flag. Just saying.
yeah, but like even like if you're tipping because you can't afford to, I don't think I would be that angry at that versus you got it and just don't want to give it out of
Yeah.
greed. And it's like, then I'm like, man, I really don't like you, you know?
And you just know he had a bunch of 1 stars, but this guy's like, it's my time to shine. Just maybe. He's in a good mood.
And I love that the delivery guy was smart enough to figure out, oh, I've seen this guy every day here. I'm just gonna put it right out of reach, you know?
Yeah, good for the driver.
Man. And the way he gets caught too is it with her stabby stick.
Yes.
Oh my God. At that point, like before that, you're thinking, okay, there's still a way out. There's still a way out. They can finagle. I don't know nothing. I didn't see nothing. There's really no proof. It's still not as dangerous a situation. It's not as palpable as it could be. You're like, it's still a way out. And then the stabby stick, and you're like, oh no, that's Chloe right there.
Yeah.
So, but did they ever really go into how he killed Chloe? Because we only got one scene where somebody got run over. And is it supposed to represent two scenes or two people that got run over? How did he kill Chloe? Oh no, all they do is they sort of,
her injuries.
I think they sort of imply it like at the end where he's like, oh, that's right. He says to Diego, he's like, oh, Diego says, you told me she died because of the coke I sold her. Yeah. And then he goes, did you hit her? And he goes, no. And she goes, bullshit. So it really was him flying out in a rage that killed her. So it wasn't even an accident.
Yeah.
My God.
And when they roofied him, I was just like, oh my God. This, like, it just kept getting worse and worse. Like, especially as a woman watching this, you're just like...
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, oh my God.
I had to hit rewind a couple times. Like, wait a second. What just happened? Wait. No. She didn't just... And I was like, oh, she grabbed him. I said, maybe it's because she got hit in the head. Maybe her powers aren't working right now. Because when he says, oh, this is just ibuprofen, clearly that's a lie and she should be able to tell. And then he goes over and beyond. He's like, you trust me. I have your best intentions at heart, right? And she goes, yeah, I believe you. And I was like, wait a second. This is Charlie. And then she grabs it. And I was like, oh, this is really bad. But she was faking it the whole time. Yeah. So nice move there. But it's great that he gets it in the end, and he clearly just froze to death out there in the wilderness, right?
I hope so.
Did they give any resolution as to finding him yet? I don't think they did at the end.
No, they just kind of said that Trey was arrested, and then they identified Morty as Charlie because she
Oh,
took
they
the
said Trey
water.
was arrested.
Yeah, Trey was
Oh, God.
arrested.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Damn it.
she's watching the news report when she's in the hospital.
You know, they say deer are omnivores. Occasionally,
Mhm.
you'll catch them eating meat. Would have been really cool if, like, towards the end, like a post-credit scene we just saw is like dead body in the snow, and like a deer is chomping on his ribs or something. That would have
Yeah.
been just comeuppance. I would have liked that.
Deer symbolism is so cool too.
How do
Obviously,
you
you think of like the Native American context of like what deer mean, but like and how it's linked to spirituality because they're actually intuitive creatures. They're very much like deer, where if a horse does not like you,
Yep.
red flag.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah,
what do you know about like what the deer means in Native American philosophy?
it's like instinctual energy, independence, regeneration.
Huh.
Yeah, because I think regeneration is because their antlers can grow back. Like if
I
they're cut
mean,
off,
in a
they
sense,
also shed and regrow. But if you cut it off, it'll come
I mean, she
back.
does die and come back twice in this
Yeah.
episode. So, like, yeah, no, and at a certain point, when she's in there, when he finally stabs her, I'm like, what? How do you come back? You can't come back from this. And then they're in the ground, and then you hear like the news report they found the body, and I was like, yeah, no, this is the end. She just dies. I really thought
And like
there
after
was
last episode, like I said, I was like anything's kind of up for grabs when you're watching it. Like you don't know that you're like,
yeah, there was a half a second where I was like, they might just do this. They might just do this. But then it's like, I wonder what the next episode is gonna look like.
because listen, remember Angela Lansbury, those episodes they used to do without Angela Lansbury because she was so old and needed a break. There were times we had those episodes without her, so it's like, are they really trying to like do an allusion to this next season or yeah? So I was just like, I just really didn't know. And of course I was like, thank God I waited and I could binge to the end. I did only do one a day though. I didn't like binge it all in one sitting.
Oh, that's not called binging, really, right? You can't call that binging.
Watching so much content like back to back to back in one day as opposed to like week to week for me.
Yeah, no, but like even if you put a day in between it, I feel like that's just
Normal TV.
Yeah,
nowadays.
That's just vigorous enthusiasm, right? That's just,
okay, I'll take it.
And punctuality. I don't know.
Like me
Binging
trying to watch all 15 seasons of Supernatural for the whole summer. It's just like you're just sitting on the couch every
right. For me, it's at least when you watch the third episode and you can't stop yourself. Now you're in the act of binging.
It takes 3 episodes. Okay.
At least in my opinion, that's
right,
how I. That's
fair enough.
The line
I feel better about it then.
yeah. You got to find different labels to it. I didn't binge. I just religiously watched. That feels better.
That feels a lot better.
So let's get to like the best part of this whole episode, where she wakes up in the hospital. They find her because she has the monitor. So when she slashed his foot, which was like I thought it was a callback to Pet Sematary.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that scene in Pet Sematary?
No, not at all.
Oh,
I watched Pet Sematary as a small child like this.
And I would still watch it like that. I think I saw it like 10 years ago, and it's still like this scene specifically was so jarring because like it's a baby, right? It's a baby. And the baby's under the bed and he's all evil and you don't know how to feel about it. And this old man, the grandpa, is walking past the bed and he has like a little blade in his hand and he cuts and just like comes and cuts the old man's Achilles tendon. And it's just so violent and evil. And it's a child, like a baby. And you don't know how to feel about it. It's really, really a weird, very Stephen King scene. But it really reminded me of that. She comes up and slices his Achilles tendon. But I guess that's where she got the ankle monitor, and what foresight on her part. Okay, I am gonna die, but you're gonna find me and you're going down. I'm not going down alone. I love that.
Yeah.
So she gets found and then they're in the hospital and you're like, oh my God, this is the end, my friend. And you're like all gloom and doom. And then they're like, oh, all the bodies were found, including Charlie Cale. And she goes, oh, Mortimer. They thought Mortimer.
Yeah, she looks down and she's like, I got a chain, no tag.
And that laugh was so enjoyable. That
until you pan out.
is I'm dead. And she's been saying it this whole episode, and she tried dying twice. And I guess she dies 3 times in this episode.
Well, you know, say three's the charm, right?
Huh. Oh man, but what you felt that with her. Just all the emotions coming out. Everything almost feels like it's over. So much weight lifted off. She's free. She's Jane Doe. And now you start thinking about, like, how's she gonna go? Oh, I don't remember who I am. She could perfectly say that and get away with it for as long as she wants. I don't know. I don't remember who I am. You can't connect me at all.
But technically, if they ran her fingerprints, because she did work in a casino, she would be easily identifiable.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't run her fingerprints. Maybe they just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, they probably just haven't done it yet.
I mean, oh yeah, I guess she still has a fight in front of her. But at least you see, what's his name, in the car saying, "Hey, we got her. It's over."
Yeah.
But he does say something interesting. He goes, "All I need you to tell me is how deep you want her buried."
How you want that? Which goes back to the beginning of the pilot. Yeah.
Wait, how
at
so?
the end of the pilot, where he's like, you know, when you find her, I want you to call me and ask how deep to dig the hole.
Okay. All right. Because I kept thinking, is he trying to convince the boss that I got her, right? Taking credit and saying, "Oh, I buried," which is, you know, is going to get him in trouble, because even though you think she's dead, you got to go make sure.
Yeah, which he told him basically. He's like, you need to see the body with this one.
Yeah.
She's been a squirrely one for him. I don't want to ruin it, but yeah, she's been a squirrely one, and he has been pissed off.
Yeah,
like, he's this professional guy. You know, he's a guy that does things, and she's just been slipping through his fingers every freaking time, bro.
Why wouldn't he? Yeah, why wouldn't he go to the morgue and sneak his way in, or intimidate his way in, and get to see the body and realize it's not her? But anyways, it leaves interesting questions for them to solve next episode.
Yeah, like I said, this is like these last 2 episodes have been building up, and like the season finale is like so interesting where they take it from here. But like this one was such a great one to end on, like such a great cliffhanger.
I really I thought it had some of the best acting,
tension, consequences, like
yeah, they almost killed her twice.
She just won't die, man.
man. Oh, that's funny. We're kind of who's the guy that plays the guy following her? Is Lou Diamond Phillips, right? Or is it not?
Oh, that's Benjamin Pratt.
Man, those two are that can get easily confused.
Oh yeah.
Because it reminds me of, you ever see the movie The Big Hit?
Yes.
Lou Diamond Phillips, how he can't die. He's like, he just won't die. Yeah. If that was Lou Diamond Phillips, that would have been an interesting little accidental nod, you know? But it's not, so.
Yeah, this episode ended up being the critics' favorite from everything that I was reading.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It really felt like a Black Mirror episode, didn't it?
Yeah, because like she wouldn't die, and it was like all these weird random things happening, and especially like where the deer sets up, especially this last season of Black Mirror, where it wasn't really like necessarily technology focused, but like the evil that people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did feel like well, I haven't seen much of the new season. I've only seen the first episode. Kind of saving.
Is that Joan is Awful? Is that the first one?
Joan is Awful, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So after that, you don't really get a lot of tech. It's very interesting where they take the latest season of Black Mirror. So.
Yeah, I felt like this was like an analog Black Mirror.
Yes.
Right? But it had the same like weird settings. Somehow a lot of it is contained in one little space, one little room, like the John Hamm episode or something, you know?
White Christmas.
Yeah. Oh man, that's one of the best episodes.
Just seeing these two greasy guys though, I just like it. Just really like raised my the hair on my shackles. I was like, Gordon Levitt's playing a bad guy. Like,
yeah,
like I can see Diego being a bad guy, no problem. But not my baby Joseph Gordon. We grew up we're practically the same age. I mean, I've literally watched him since like Third Rock on the Sun.
Oh my god, and he was great then. He's always been a phenomenal
10 Things
actor.
I Hate About You. I will forgive him for being Robin in that movie that shall not be named.
Forgive him? I thought he was great in that.
the ending is what pissed me off.
Yeah, because they teased you, didn't actually give it to you, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, dreams of what's it that with the Batman Beyond,
Yeah.
and I was like, what are they gonna? They could do that if they wanted to, if there was a Nightwing. I mean, like, he's
Listen,
perfect.
there's always talk of a Sam Raimi directed Spider-Man 4. There will always be talks of a Nolan directed continuation of the Dark Knight trilogy.
That I mean,
Christian
that
Bale says, "Well, if he calls me, I can't talk about it until he calls me."
call Ryan Reynolds, he'll get it done. He will get it done.
But
He
yeah,
should have been a diplomat.
honestly, that he's America's sweetheart, so naturally he's Canadian. That's the joke.
Oh shit, that's
Like
the
for a while, William Shatner was America's sweetheart. For a while, he's Canadian. Justin Bieber was America's sweetheart for a while. Canadian. Caroline Ray was America's sweetheart when she had her talk show that Rosie O'Donnell produced. Canadian. I'm just saying, it's a thing. It's a thing. Martin Short,
I'm
Canadian.
on board with that. Let's protect Canada at all costs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like
yeah,
the only reason. They're like our only friend right now. So yeah, let's be nice to them.
Oh man, that and the Ukraine, I guess, but
Even then, I don't know.
yeah,
Taking
it's
money.
kind of like
We're just kind of a
begrudging
sugar
friendship.
daddy. I don't think we're getting anything out of
Yeah.
it just yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Other than
yeah,
obviously saving lives, but like yeah, we're pretty
Right,
much in a
right.
sugar daddy relationship over here. By
Yeah,
proxy. So
right. It's a whole
it's
can
a
of
whole
worms.
thing.
But yeah, I
love the
cannot.
motel set. I think that was one of the coolest sets they've done so far. Next to previous episode with the guys like little creative workshop. I really like.
You mean the set in their little lodge or whatever they were? Yeah, really, really dug that. It created a really great environment, a really great backset to work off of, and especially as dingy as hurt as she is, every time the power goes out and the flames are bouncing off of her greasy skin. Oh man, just visually, just really, really top notch.
Yeah. It also reminded me of that one movie. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it was on Hulu. I think it was like a Hulu original where it's this guy. He's supposed to meet his sister at this motel, and then the guy actually is like a serial killer, and he plays with them like the whole time. And then it's this like old, like not abandoned, but like he kills the motel owners. He pretends to be the owner, and it just gets really, really creepy from there. Those are the vibes it was giving me. I have to think of the name of that movie. It's really good.
You talking about the movie Creep?
No, not Creep.
Creep have you ever seen that?
I have seen Creep 1 and 2. And let me just say, flaccid penis, not a good
look. No, for sure. But like,
but no, that is a crazy movie. I recommend that movie all the time.
It's like I was not ready for like the level.
The bathtub, like it sets the tone from like one of the first few moments where he shows up and he's in the bathtub. I'm just like.
Yeah,
run! The money cannot possibly be that good, my guy. Run!
Oh,
A guy mentions an axe. Turn around. Leave.
The best part of that, and I love that the best part of that movie isn't like the violence or when that happens. It's everything before it. It's like the gall to sit there and gaslight this person. Like, no, just like the mental evil deviousness it must take to be in that moment and lie so wholeheartedly to people. So, oh my God, it's one of the best evil movies you can find. Woof woof from a dog in NorCal. Woof woof back to you, Mr. Evans.
I just looked over and I saw that. I was like, oh, not for me.
I don't know what that means.
I thought that was your friend. I thought he was with you.
No, I don't know. I thought he was with you.
Just an old dog.
Or like just an old dog. Right on. Well, thank you.
Eric, me matey, welcome aboard.
But
yeah, the song. Everybody here hates you by Courtney Barnett was the featured song for this episode. And I was like, yeah. I literally hate that. I hate Trey. I hate Trey. I kind of wish he just. I don't think prison's good enough for him.
No, that's what I'm saying. I really, really wanted, like, when he finally said, I have no fight left and I'm just going to give in to the ice on my face. And just to know that slowly that was going to invade the rest of his brain and his body, and he was going to freeze to death. And maybe that deer would have come and ate his liver or something. That would have been mwah. That would have made me feel good. Yeah. But I feel like this episode and the last episode were like unsatisfying endings for the bad guys.
We're getting into more realistic. Maybe he like felt like maybe it's not realistic to tie it up in a bubble. Like, babes, don't buck tradition sometimes. Sometimes it's okay to go with tradition. Sometimes we need that corny release.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, that's about as real as it can get. Like, our justice system is totally fracked, and sometimes we just need a cathartic release, man.
Yep. Especially if like we're already giving into the kind of show that it is, right?
Just a tad bit of fantastical element, nothing too over the top. Because it reminds me of like Lie to Me, the show Lie to Me, right? There's science behind body language, and they're not really getting into the minutia of it. So like I can just kind of let it go. But it is a slightly fantastical element when they just leave it out there like that.
Right. But if I'm gonna give you that, I'm expecting a little something in return. You know what I mean? So that's where I feel like it was a little imbalanced. Not terribly. It was a great episode. I think
they really want you to feel the dread of it, especially at this end of the episode, leading into the season finale, where it's like, okay, what are they actually going to do? They literally put Charlie through the ringer.
I mean, and how?
Yeah. So but you can only imagine what they have planned for the finale. And I do think that it is actually the finale is a somewhat of a cathartic release, but then it sends you into a spiral thinking about what they're going to do for next season, as all good season finales should do. So
I can't wait.
Oh, I think the cinematography is the best in the last episode.
Really?
Not to spoil it. It's ironically super cheery and bright. Like the lighting is so beautiful and natural. It's when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it's a very interesting choice of how they played it out.
I can't wait. This has been the best new thing I've seen on TV in a while. And I just got done, finishing up Jack Ryan, which I thought was, predictable and formulaic.
Is that the one with Kurt?
No, it's the one with Jimothy.
Oh,
Amazon Prime, where Jim from The Office, Jim Halpert, is an international super spy.
Yeah. Which he took over from, is that the one where he took over from Tom Cruise, the movie? That one?
No. That's Jack Reacher.
Oh, okay.
That's a really good show.
Because that's another guy. That's why I was just like, wait a minute. No, that's another guy.
Yeah. No, I think if anyone had this role before, it might have been Harrison Ford.
Listen, Some of Our Fears, where they tried to reboot it with Ben Affleck.
Yeah. That was about as good as Daredevil, the movie.
I like Daredevil, so I can't. Did you? It's one of those like, oh, it's so cool. It was cool for its time. It just doesn't hold up.
Yeah,
and it did give us Elektra, so that does get a little ding on it. But I mean, it gave us Jennifer in a halter top and red halter top too. So it's like you give and you take.
Your take. Right. No, I agree.
Especially like those early 2000s superhero movies where everybody's like, "Oh, X-Men made money. We can do it too."
Yeah.
So I mean, you kind of have to forgive it.
I feel the same way about Green Lantern. I enjoyed it, and if it was on cable, I would definitely leave it on and keep watching it. I thought it was an enjoyable movie, and I also like all the Fantastic Four movies, even the last one. But I don't
even the last one.
Even the last one, I didn't mind it because I don't have the burden of knowing the backstory of what Doctor Doom is supposed to be and all these things. To me, it was just like a funny little romp.
I know. They reminded me of what is that, Super Babies or whatever. Basically, that's all I can think in my head because all the things that they're doing, and they're just so young. So it's just like Super Babies, or Boss Baby, or something like that. That's all I could keep thinking in the movie theater.
Yeah, I will say
I did enjoy some of the performances. Mahershala Ali, obviously, loved him in that.
Yeah, he's great. Now, do you have high hopes for the Blade movie?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Because he did force them to rewrite the script, which was a great sign. But then I don't know how many feathers he ruffled and if they're gonna allow him to really get
Wesley did the same thing, to be fair. But Wesley was actually in his prime and could kind of do those things where I don't feel like yes, Mahershala is he's a good actor, but he has some good work under his body, body of work and everything, but he wasn't at that level. Wesley was a 80s and 90s action superstar. And Blade actually meant a lot to him. He put his own money into it. A lot of things that allowed him to do that up until the third movie, obviously. Um, so yeah, it's like, but he wants to put out a good product, so I feel like the fans will back him as long as you go support Blade. They can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing.
That character, there's an opportunity to do something special. Blade is not just like one of those run-of-the-mill characters you can just make a little movie about. You have the opportunity to have like a powerhouse character here. So to squander that on like, you know, bad directors, bad writing, it's just unfortunate. And I hope we get something good with that, because I think that can be amazing.
Yeah, and I always joke like why Blade was so good at that particular time is because it was by New Line Cinema, which is a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. I was like, technically, it's a DC movie. Technically,
interesting.
That's my little joke, especially like back in that particular era, they were kind of doing a little bit better on that front. So
yeah,
but yeah, I'm excited for it. Like, I just want the actual comic book to be rebooted.
Oh.
Been a long time. I mean, we have some Midnight Sun, like the video game, but they never did the tie-in comic book for it, so it's just like, okay. Huh. So it's, you know, that's the whole corporate synergy thing of it all, which is like why I kind of love Peacock, because it's like their biggest properties, right, are like Jurassic Park and Fast and the Furious, right? But they haven't like tried to make TV shows. Let me knock on wood. Anything like that, right? Everything is just so like separated. I appreciate that personally.
Yeah.
That's why like I've really been trying to give Peacock a chance and find some other stuff that I like. I'm actually currently, while I'm joking, Fast and Furious is my favorite fun franchise. I'm actually binge watching. I'm on 8 tomorrow night.
Oh, speaking of which, did you see Mission Impossible?
I did.
What did you think of that?
I can't wait for the second part.
I might wait.
It felt incomplete, and like some of the stunts felt a little recycled, unfortunately, which threw me for a loop.
I thought the stunts were all right, but I thought like the script was really.
You don't show it to Mission Impossible.
No, I know the last one was serviceable enough to the point where it allowed you to feel consequences behind the action. The action was enjoyable because there was a good storyline to make you think that, oh, something's on the line here, something could happen. With there, it was just like everything was so convenient. Like there's this one scene, oh no, where am I gonna go? And there's a cop car with the door open waiting for you, right? There was a lot of these.
That's the problem when you know it's a part 2, right? And with the exception maybe Into the Spider-Verse trilogy, like that's a little different. But like for this one, it's like it's part 2. Tom Cruise is probably gonna retire and try to find someone younger that's Scientology approved to replace him and reboot it in a TV show.
Danny Masterson, here he comes. There's no comeback.
Yeah, I'm serious. So like he feels like, you know, he has to like lean towards that because it's part 2. Part 2 needs to be bigger.
But if you're gonna go out, like make sure the writing is good. Like, you know, like sometimes, like maybe 2 years ago, if you saw an article written by AI, it would be written like by Mad Libs.
Yeah.
Right. The script looked like it was written by an AI from 10 years ago.
And now you know why they're on strike. I wouldn't put it past, especially specifically the studio that's behind it, Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
That's also another franchise that, you know, people have been holding on to. Kind of like Charlie's Angels. It's like it's a little outdated and you keep trying to modernize it. And the more you try to modernize it, the more magic you lose in it, I think is what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, they're still kicking butt with Bond, though. Even Christopher Nolan said it would be an honor to direct the next Bond. I'm like, let's go. Can you imagine that? A Nolan Bond? I think that'd be amazing.
I mean, he already did that. It's called Batman Begins, babes.
Right. No, I agree. Unless they
bring back Pierce Brosnan, I don't want to hear it.
No,
my favorite Bond, and I will die on that hill. As a 90s kid,
I thought he was the worst Bond. There was
get out, Mozz. Get out.
No concept. He was always too cool for school. Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
GoldenEye, baby. First person shooter would be nowhere without GoldenEye.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more on that. Could not agree more on that. We would not have had Halo if we didn't have. And also,
Halle Berry bouncing out of the. I'm just saying, it was some formative memories for me in his part of the franchise. All I can say. Were all the movies absolute nonsense? Diamond Face Guy? Absolutely. Was it fun? Heck yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like I felt like my.
Now, if you want to go best Bond, it's old school Bond. Not even Sean Connery. I'm talking Timothy.
Ooh,
Like
yeah,
where the stories have the consequence, and it's actually more like the books and stuff.
huh.
It's
Yeah,
a little corny watching it now, and it's like really jarring trying to watch all the Bond movies. But the old stuff is really actually pretty good if you've ever read the books.
no, I haven't. But I like
Yeah.
Daniel Craig, like, cause like I felt like he was in danger, and he got out, but he actually had to work to get out. Like he had to like MacGyver way out of like real life situations. Whereas Pierce Brosnan, somebody already MacGyvered stuff for him. He just had to be like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Oh, this button.
He said to make you catch it.
And he was, yeah, I know, but like at least like I don't know. I wanted to see him sweat a little bit. He
No,
never
I
sweat.
get it, but he was too cool for school, and that was the cool one because like it's just like
Yeah.
we had just it was like the modernization. It's like I'm just
And
gonna make out
also,
with these hot chicks.
it's the time. Back then, I guess that it wasn't cool to be flappable.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Coming out of the extreme '90s, where especially the rise of like Bat God, and where there's like Batman, who's just this mere mortal in a pantheon of literal gods.
Yeah.
He's the one that they're all afraid of. I think that really kind of permeated into the zeitgeist, unfortunately. And Bond is literally like basically Batman.
Yeah.
with a government behind him, no less.
Yeah.
So I totally get that criticism, but it was fun, and like I said, some formative memories.
I'm just salivating at the idea of a Henry Cavill Batman directed by Christopher Nolan. A Henry Cavill Bond directed by Christopher Nolan. I mean,
you're
like
pushing
just
for Cavill, huh?
I think he would be a great Bond. Who would you suggest?
I don't even think there's anybody. Like I wasn't even behind the idea of Idris being Bond.
I think
I just don't think there's a person right now.
I think he would be a phenomenal Bond.
He doesn't want to do it though. It's kind of a curse a little bit too. So.
Huh.
Yeah, like a lot of actors feel like it's kind of like the Superman thing too. Like people feel like it's kind of a curse when you play Superman live action. And they have kind of that thing with Bond too, so I think that's probably what more of it has to do with.
Unless it's a total newcomer, I can't think of anybody that would.
Yeah, I think they should go for the newcomer. I mean, in the time of Marvel, where the character, not the actor, is the actual star, I think that would be really refreshing at this point. I mean, that's what they're doing for Superman.
Oh yeah, I've seen the guy. I mean, he looks serviceable. I hope he's a good actor.
Yeah.
And I hope they do the character justice. I don't know. They're so fractured over there. I mean, I have no hopes and no expectations.
Listen, I'll say this. I think the Gunn Bros are better than the Snyder Bros because at least the Gunn Bros are trying to be invested in the whole ecosystem. Like sales are actually up on some of the stuff of the projects that he's working on and things like that. Like so they're invested not just in him and his TV show, but like actually like becoming part of like the DC at large fandom. Whereas they're like, nah, bro, just let him do another movie. Like they're actually like invested and they want to research and they're like really putting their trust in him and to like get the story because he is a fan. He understands how these characters work. Just look at Peacemaker, a clown, but that TV show is masterpiece.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. I couldn't get through the opening sequence.
Oh, you're not one of those guys because that's one of our favorite parts.
Oh, it was so cringe. I couldn't bring myself to watch. I was like, what are we doing here? This is like the opening theme to Barney without the costumes. That's what this is. I was like,
then if you don't like the opening, you're not gonna like the show.
I guess because it's not for everybody, I guess. But I couldn't deal with it. I was like, I felt like,
but it's John Cena, so it's just like it makes sense for me. It just makes sense for me.
I just like that. It made me want to punch a nerd in the face, and since there was no nerd around, I wanted to punch myself in the face for watching it. That's how I felt.
I'm sorry to hear that, but now, like, it's really actually funny, like, actually amazingly, stunningly shot too. Yeah, if you can't get past the opening scene, definitely not the show for you because
I like the movie though. The Justice League movie I thought was great. I thought it was really, really fun. Way better than the first Justice League movie. And Idris was great in that.
Yeah, obviously. He's real good.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where they're gonna I am so excited for you to see this next episode and talk about it.
Right on.
I'm gonna rewatch it again. Actually, I rewatched both today, but I'm gonna rewatch 10 again.
I tend to save my enthusiasm, so I tend to watch it like the day I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna hold off.
It's a lot to process. I'm just gonna say that it's a lot to process.
I might watch it tonight. It's the last episode. I might give it and be like, let me just watch it. What's the harm? But yeah, I cannot wait. All right, so you want to sign us off?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So we will see you next week when we talk about Poker Face season finale. Please check us out on Twitter or X, I guess, whatever Elon's doing.
Oh
It's
yeah,
at
yeah.
FSA Podcast. If you want to send us an email, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com. You can check us out on what is it? tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Network. Yes. And then you can, of course, give us a call at 614-382-2727. That's 614-38-CAPES. Yep, I got it right. 2space.io. And where can people find you, Mozzie?
Oh, they can email me at mozzmanzor@gmail.com or find me on Facebook under Mozz Manzor. That's MOZZMANZOOR.
Cool beans. I am unfortunately invested in the meta universe, so you can find me on Facebook at Lilith Hellfire. You can find me on Threads at Internet Granny. That's GRANNIE. On Threads and Instagram. These billionaires, they literally give me Sophie's choices. But yeah, I'm a meta girl apparently. Who knew?
Do you dabble in the VR in the
I
metaverse?
actually do have I have a Meta Quest, and I'm probably gonna have a Meta Quest Pro by Christmas. Fingers crossed.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. The Quest 3 is coming out in September. That's the one I'm waiting for. I have the 2, and I'm waiting
Yeah,
to
I
get
have
the
the
3.
2 too, but I think the Pro looks a little better. But they're discontinuing it, so I'm definitely waiting for it to go on sale.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's gonna. I think the 3 is just gonna be some cheaper components, but overall, it's gonna give you a better experience. As far as like if you want a game on it, I think a better experience. So that's what I'm waiting on. But in any case, join us next week. Arg.
Arg. And let's.
All right.